Hello, Prime Gaming is currently giving away Criminal Archives Alphabetic Murders Collector's Edition until the 20th of March 2024 via the Legacy Game Store. Let's take a look at this Hidden Objects game and see what mysteries it's hiding. Well, actually, none. I was really tempted to just reuse a previous review because this is basically the same game as, I don't know, half a dozen that Amazon have given away before. Games like Unsolved Case or City Legends, those kind of things. The last one they gave away had updated the graphics and bulked out the story a fair bit. But with Criminal Archives, we're going back to the Uncanny Valley style depiction of people with their oddly animated mouths and not as good voice acting.
After all, maybe the criminal is still hiding around here.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is the biggest issue because the story is just a framework to hang the hidden object games and puzzles on. I don't think anyone plays these games for the narratives, the voice acting or the graphics. For those that haven't seen a game like this before, I'll give you a really quick rundown of what it actually involves. First off, we have hidden object collection and use, where you go and find an object that's hidden in one of several clickable areas on a static picture, where you can pick the object up once you find it and put it in your inventory. Unless you can't, unless you actually need to use another object in order to pick that object up. Typically there's going to be no more than like 4 or 5 areas accessible at any one time. But you'll need to scour each and every one to make your way along the chain of item use in order to progress the game. Sometimes the way you use objects doesn't make any sense at all, which can be a bit frustrating. I got annoyed at the game because I got stuck for a while, and when I resorted to trial and error, I found out the answer was using metal lampshades as wheels, which for some reason I didn't think was an appropriate solution. How stupid was I? Not just me, is it? That don't make any sense. Second aspect of gameplay is the Hidden Objects Match 3 games. It's not like the Candy Crush Match 3 games. It's literally click on 3 objects that look the same. It's not always quite as simple as just finding the objects though. Sometimes you'll need to do a little bit more work than just click it. For example, you might need to find missing eggs to place in a carton before being able to click on the carton. These are quite fun. Some objects are pretty well hidden and pose a nice challenge, though the game's still pretty chilled out. Unless you're on hard mode. I'll talk about that in a bit. The last part of the gameplay are puzzles, which was my most enjoyed area, I'd say. This is where the games really come to life and really shine for me. I've played a good half a dozen of these games and multiple puzzles within each one, and I've not actually seen a puzzle repeated yet, which is pretty impressive. In this game, a few were pretty challenging and a couple I found really hard, but you do have the option to choose an easy mode version of a puzzle. Just a less complex version. The same puzzle, just easier. Talking of easy mode, you are given a hint and skip function when playing. The hint function shows you the area that you need to interact with, and if you're in that area, highlights the exact spot. Doesn't tell you what you need to do there, but it does obviously give you the option of just trial and error in all the items in your inventory, which tends not to be more than like half a dozen or so. The skip button allows you to just nope out of a puzzle or a match 3 hidden object minigame if you get stuck. These can be disabled via the play mode settings menu option. Hardcore mode disables these buttons, hides active zones, which basically means if you have an interactable area and you have active modes on, it kind of sparkles. Additionally, it doesn't tell you when there's an optional collectible on screen. Optional collectibles I don't care about, but there are a few different types for you to collect if you really want to 100% this game. Advanced mode gives you a longer cooldown for these buttons, still hides the active mode, and also gives you the option to choose an easier version of a puzzle if you get stuck. Casual mode gives you all this and shortens the cooldowns and gives you active zone modes. What you can do, and what I actually do, is go into custom mode, which gives you loads of options to turn on or turn off as suits you best. Personally, I don't want to get stuck for hours on a puzzle when I'm doing these reviews. That is so not part of the process, so I like the option to try an easier version if I'm struggling or skip, so I select those options. I kind of like these games despite them being a bit low effort, since I like the puzzles where there is effort, I think, and I do enjoy the hidden objects match-free bits. The object use part is fine most of the time. I played for 7 hours and there was 3 or 4 instances where the insane illogical solutions kind of put a downer on the whole experience, so it's not fun to get stuck for 5 minutes when you're trying to logically work out what to do next, only to find the right option makes absolutely no sense, so there's no way you would have thought of it, and it feels like that time you spent trying to figure out was completely wasted. If you like these games, this is exactly what the other ones did, just different puzzles, and it will feel extremely familiar. If you haven't played a game like this before, this is one of them, so this is worth giving a try just to see if you like it. I mean, it's free, why not? Just see. I wasn't that enthused about playing any of these games when I started doing the reviews, but I actually kind of like them. If you don't like these games, this is not going to change your mind. Okay, I've had enough of incompetent police officers that constantly get outfooled by a villain and let random people die constantly because they couldn't catch someone. By the way, that's a comment on the game, not real life. Your mileage may vary though. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.